Alright, so 2020 has been a pretty weird and trying time for the entertainment industry. Even some of the most forefront projects have been put on hold because of all the looming chaos outside. Animation has very much been held up as an exception to the rule, and as such, there's been a fair amount of entertaining projects set to drop this year. Many have been delivering the gospel of a brand new era and a bigger, brighter future for animation due to the recent developments, but in the meantime we've gotten tons of news of reboots, spin-offs, and continuations. Everything from Clone Eye to Phineas and Ferb is getting a glow-up of some kind in the near-distant future, but the thing that has me most hooked is the polarizing follow-up to Hasbro's equine juggernaut of the past decade, called Pony Life. I've been hearing about this left and right before this year even started to suck. Plenty of my mutuals or adjacent creators would comment on it or state their piece on their own channels, so it's been in the back of my mind forever. I've just been waiting for it to come out. This is perhaps one of the most divisive reboots animation's seen this turn of the millennia. Its impact probably doesn't have the same type of reach, but its story is one that has echoed through time ad infinitum. Popular action-adventure animated series ends gracefully and gets a light and fluffy comedic reboot later down the line and pisses off the fan base. Herein, of course, that process was accelerated and streamlined for this current terrible year. Now, as you can guess, the MLP communities have been pretty mixed on this existing. Any hyper-stylized, tonally exaggerated iteration of anything now is likely to catch some flack. And as with any fandom, there is a fair amount of doom and gloom spread before the main concept was even revealed, which would intensify to some degree when we knew what the thing looked like. It's understandable, of course. I mean, having Pony Life announced about a month after Friendship is Magic officially sunsetted would rock the boat any way you slice it. It doesn't give anyone a chance to, process the end of the era that they just went through. Thus, you get a lot of cranky, closed-off MLP fans that don't receive this new generation too well. Credit where credit is due. Of course, there are plenty of people that did embrace the show, but, it hasn't been that long. Anyway, fast forward a few months later, when not too long before the show is slated to drop, a teaser trailer was released. Many would be quick to defend or deride it as the US premiere date approaches, but while everyone was antsy to see what this actually came to be, all of a sudden, it doesn't air as expected over here. Everyone had to tune into the Treehouse rips of it, which would be the preschool branding of Canada's Cartoon Network, Teletoon. Plenty are still reeling from this lack of American release, but I just want to jump into the content, which, I can't lie, I have to keep my voice low because, they're listening, right? This is the Teen Titans Go of My Little Pony.
FBI, open up!
Oh shit. The show itself took on chibi character designs mixed with this European style of background work. The combo makes it look like stationery, but it looks pretty good. The main six all hang out at Sugar Cube Corner, and they have short, fun adventures around Equestria. So far, each 10-minute story is split up into 2 5-minute segments, and they both tie into one pony's personality or struggle. It's a weird setup, but, narratively, I guess it works. The structure and the pacing can easily take you out of what's going on, but the stories themselves aren't too big anyway, so, again, it all comes together. Everyone with the exception of Spike has their G4 voice actresses, and as expected, they do a pretty good job. I question the decision to keep them while changing everything up. If it was a marketing strategy, it probably wasn't that effective. There's plenty of people that didn't care. But in general, the characters are the sole focus, and so far, while many will miss the expensive lore setup, I think it's easy enough for the target demographics to get behind, and filthy casuals like me to respect. I'll probably watch a few more episodes, but so far, it's not too bad. I'm pretty sure this thing was made from the ground up to be a fully globalized marketing machine. That sounds like the most obvious take imaginable, but think about it, alright? My Little Pony's style diversity has always been ever-changing since day one. Generation 1 alone gradually went from being all about adventuring and fighting monsters, creating a self-contained slice-of-life utopia. They found different ways to engage the same audiences decade after decade. And here they've taken a very modern adaptational strategy and ran with it, resulting in what some would call the MLP Go of the franchise. Even with a highly successful line, the concept has to keep being reinvented in order for it to be sustainable. Despite the initial success of them, if we didn't get new Scooby-Doo or Looney Tunes media every now and then, they'd be relics of the past. Or more so than they are now, you know. Change is inevitable, and inevitably controversial. The thing with reboots is that they're set up not only to reel in a whole new generation of viewers, but they have a financial and ethical obligation to be somewhat palatable to fans of the previous set. Even when the demographic groups are on two opposite sides of an extreme spectrum, both are supposed to be appeased somewhat. It's a very tricky balance. Some make it work, some never get it right. A lot of them rely on transitional strength of the previous era, which I don't think this new generation really has yet. I can absolutely sympathize with the lot that is rejecting or at least having trouble coming to terms with pony life. That said, I hope this new series does thrive. You can't justify its rejection on a technical level because the show is put together pretty well. But I can at least say, I know the vibes. Just as long as we're not being critical of elements that aren't bad, because that's poopy, and anyone who continues to do so is a poop mouth with poop opinions. So I've heard. It is evergreen, it is fresh, it is yet to be jaded and cynical due to the ever-changing, sweeping course of nostalgic fanboys, and hopefully it'll stay that way. It's fun, it's stylish, it doesn't really need to go all out yet, but from a design standpoint, it looks very nice. Just wants to entertain. Please, just let it live. Don't let it turn into Teen Titans Go Season 3, alright? Nobody wants TTG Season 3 out of ponies, alright?